range three, and it's good! At the buzzer! Damian Lillard! Are you kidding me? 10, that's his youth right there.
Tagovailoa trying to make up for it. Fires to the end zone. Touchdown! Alabama wins!
Cortez delivers. Freeman hits the ball to right field. She is gone! Gibby, meet Freddie. Game 1 of the World Series.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Just Work Sports Radio. We have a lot to cover today. Mostly NBA, some World Cup. It's a lot to talk about, honestly. But the big news last night was Jaylen Brown traded to the 76ers for Paul George. Not what I expected. I figured Brown would get moved. The relationship between him and the Celtics got ruined over this past year. They didn't agree with some of his off-the-court stuff. I think a lot of it is just they're trying to break him down, and I don't really understand why. It doesn't really make sense to me because he led your team to a championship. And the Boston media, the ESPNs, the big sports pages, the big sports media, has been trying to break up Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum for years on years on years. It's nothing new. It's just weird. It doesn't make sense to me. The hate between those two, they never seem to hate each other, him and Tatum. But the narrative every year has been, oh, they don't like each other. He's going to get traded. Brown's going to get traded. Jaylen Brown, before yesterday, or 2 days ago now, was in so many different trade rumors. It was Anthony Davis back then. It was Kevin Durant. They almost traded him for Stephon Castle. It doesn't make sense. And then you're going to trade him away for Paul George? I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. I feel like there's going to be another. I'm hoping for the sake of Brad Stevens being who he is, the basketball mind, and the basketball savant we all look at him as, that it'll be another move made, maybe, possibly. But it doesn't really make sense right now. I also just don't understand why. I understand, yes, there was a big breakup between the relationship with the front office in Boston and Jaylen Brown this year with all of his off-the-court stuff, the streaming. Yeah, if you guys don't know, Jaylen Brown streams all the time. He was streaming after the game. He says a lot of wild stuff. He personally said that this is his favorite year of his career, and they've won a championship together. Not this year, obviously, but he said it was his favorite year this year because he scored 28 points, was first team or second team All-NBA, and didn't play without Jason Tatum because he was hurt for most of the year. Yes, that is kind of crazy to say. I don't personally understand that, but I guess for his personal career, maybe it was his favorite year because he led that team. He carried that team. They were not supposed to be a top 5 seed. He was a 3 seed. They weren't supposed to be that high in the East. There was a lot of rumors they were going to get AJ DeBanto out of BYU this year because of how bad they were going to be. It doesn't make sense, but I understand why they had to do it in Boston. I get it. The relationship was broken. I really don't feel like it could have been repaired. I mean, it could have been. It always can be repaired, I guess, but it didn't. I don't know. I'm kind of confused. The trade doesn't really make sense. I was kind of shocked last night when I saw it, or 2 days ago, sorry. When I saw it, it didn't make sense to me. It really didn't. I feel like there was so much more you could have gotten out of Jaylen Brown, and you didn't even get the Clippers picks for him. It doesn't make sense at all. And Bill Simmons, I love that guy. He's a big time. They call him the Podfather. I listen to his podcast all the time. They're live on Netflix. They're on Apple Podcasts. We're not promoting, but it's hilarious. He's hilarious. The things he said, I'm not going to get into it, what he said. You probably have to just look it up for yourself. But he's a big Celtics fan, the biggest Celtics fan. He's hilarious. What he said last night, he was like, I can't get into it. Just go look it up. His reaction to it was like, I can't believe we got Paul George. It's 36-year-old Paul George. And he's in the worst contract in the NBA. It makes no sense. I don't get it. And it's not like he fits that. He fits the system in Boston, yes. He plays better defense than Jaylen Brown. He's more of a two-way player than Jaylen Brown. But why? Does he fit next to Tatum? Maybe. It just doesn't make sense. I feel like there has to be another move. There's no way that Brad Stevens cooked this up. You were in Giannis talks. You were in prime Kevin Durant talks a couple years ago for Jaylen Brown. Anthony Davis when he was a free agent with the Pelicans. Restricted free agent with the Pelicans. But it doesn't make sense. And a lot of people are now, Boston fans everywhere, are, oh yeah, he's washed. Brad Stevens is washed. He's not. I don't think so. I think there's something else coming. I don't know what it's going to be. I'm truly confused. It doesn't really make sense. I don't get it. But we're going to move on from Boston. Philadelphia won that trade. It's not even funny. Even though Philadelphia scout or one of their sources came out and was like, hey, I don't even know how we got Jaylen Brown. Like, that's crazy. They don't even believe it themselves. But I just don't understand. I guess you were trying to move him, you were desperate to move him, but you moved him to a team you just blew a 3-1 lead to in the playoffs. My mind's blown. I knew he would get traded, obviously. I didn't think that was who it was going to be. I figured it would be the Trailblazers, if I'm being honest. I thought they were going to move one of those young guards, Ja Morant, not Ja, but Dame, Ja, Brown, Denny, and Klingon. That would have been a perfect starting five. Like, they may have contended next year. Maybe not contended, but they would have been up there in the playoffs at least. I just doesn't make sense to me. He's a top 12 player in the NBA. Jaylen Brown went for Paul George and some picks. And the whole thing was with the Bucks, they were trying to trade for Giannis, but they didn't want to include Hugo. And then a report comes out today and says, oh, well, Brad Stevens didn't want to offer Giannis a full extension of 4 years or 3 years, whatever it was. And it was just 2 years, and they were just punting on whatever. Like, they didn't want him. They didn't want to give him the full thing. And he was going to go to Boston. That's where he wanted to go. But I don't get it. It doesn't really make sense. I'm kind of shocked. That was a big one. And this is probably the biggest NBA offseason in a very long time. Like, a very long time. Like, there's so many different things that's happened in the league now. There's so many different players that are leaving. This is probably the best free agency since 2019, I would say. And the funniest thing is everyone was like, oh, Shams Charania, the NBA reporter, biggest NBA reporter there is, he breaks all the news, was like, oh, he's not going to, he's just bluffing all year when he said that it's going to be the biggest offseason. Nobody believed him. I didn't. I thought when he took over for Adrian Woj that I didn't think he could do it, but he did it. And yeah, we're still going. The offseason is just right now starting, but it doesn't really make sense to me, honestly. I don't understand Boston's point of view. I really am trying to understand it, but I don't think they're going to contend next year. I think they're a 6 seed, maybe the highest. I love Tatum. That's my boy. I will support Tatum. Through it all, and he's a great player. I think a top 10 player in the NBA when healthy. But he just came back from a torn Achilles. That's going to be difficult to get back to that level, and I don't see it. I don't see Boston contending anytime soon with this. I think that it's kind of crazy what just happened. But I saw some reports today that they're hoping that Peyton Pritchard takes a leap to like a Jaylen Brown type leap. He's not playing against the second teamers anymore, guys. He's a starting point guard now. Yeah, you have Derek White, but Jaylen Brown for Paul George? Yes, Paul George looked phenomenal in the playoffs. Like, he played great. And the whole podcast pandemic yeah, it sucks because Paul George is one of my favorite players of all time, honestly. He was amazing before the injury and the fall off a little bit. But I just don't understand. I really don't. I don't get it from Boston's point of view. But Philly, on the other hand, won that trade, and they're stacked. They're pending a lot of injuries, though. It depends on Embiid. It really just depends on Embiid being healthy for a full season and giving it his all for a full season. But I think the funniest thing to me is there's a Twitch stream, because, Jaylen Brown streams almost every day, I'm going to be honest, that he was like, oh, well, Embiid's a great player, but he's always flopping, And then there was another thing of Embiid saying, oh, Tatum and Brown playing on a super team. If I shot 5 for 20, we get blown out we lose by 30. I don't know. I'm excited for Philly, though. Pending injuries. It's pending a lot of injuries. It's pending just Embiid, really. If he can stay healthy, they have a solid, one of the best big fours in the league. I still have the Knicks over them. I think the Heat, even the Heat maybe might be better. Not on paper right now, because they just lost Norman Powell to the Bulls, which big move for the Bulls. I'm excited for them. They're going to be good. They're going to make the playoffs, I think. That's my take of that. I think they're going to be a really good team next year. They're going to be fun to watch. Lots of fun youth, running gun offense, pace up and down that floor, lots of athleticism, lots of length too. I like that part of their game. Giddy's like 6'6", 6'7". Maybe he might be 6'8". He's tall for a point guard, but I don't get it from Boston. They could have made something else. They could have flipped that to maybe a Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, maybe. I just don't understand. And Bill Simmons, I'm gonna keep referencing him because he's my favorite, one of my favorite podcasters who I listen to all the time. And big Boston fan, he was pissed, and rightfully so. A lot of Boston fans are not happy. I get that Brown and their relationship broke, but it doesn't make sense to me. This doesn't make sense. And Brad Stevens, for executive of the year, one of the greatest basketball minds out there, he has to see something that we don't. And I guess that makes, I don't know, whatever. We'll see. Boston, I don't see them contending next year. I think the East is going to get better, and it's going to continue to get better. I think that Knicks are going to be up there again. I think you can't doubt them. You learn that. You can't doubt Brunson. You can't doubt Cat. Definitely not OG Anunoby and Mikal. But yeah, I don't get it from my point of view. I wanted to do an emergency pod last night, but it was so hot outside I couldn't even. I'm outside all day, I was exhausted. I wanted to do an emergency pod late at night for the quick thing, but it was crazy, honestly. Philly though, great move. I think they're gonna be, again, pending injury to Embiid, who's never played a full season healthy, never. VJ Edgecombe, Maxey, Brown. That's a solid top three though. That's a solid top three. I think Edgecombe takes another leap next year. He adjusts well. I still think Maxey's gonna be the leading scorer. Also, that is Jaylen Brown's team now. I will say that. He's the best player on that team. Yes, Embiid has the MVP, but availability is the biggest thing for me. We'll see. We'll see if he can be available all year, but I don't know. I really don't know. But I'm excited for Philly. They're going to be good. Their bench is a little weaker right now, but they're signing some players. They're getting some players in. I don't know who they signed officially today, but with the free agency finally open as of last night. But we'll see. Philly bomb. It was a big bomb last night. That was crazy. But we'll see. Philly's going to be good. I really like the way they, built this starting five. We'll see what Nick Nurse can do. They signed Simons, Anthony Simons, another good player. Scorer, not a defender, not really a two-way type of player, more of a score-first guard, 6'3", a little bit undersized for his position. But we'll see. It's just crazy. How do you trade someone to a team you just lost 3-1 to? And you blew a lead. You blew that lead 3-1. Makes no sense. Paul George hooped during that series, but we'll see. But yeah, from my point of view, it makes no sense at all. I don't understand it, but we're gonna see what is cooking up. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't get it. But there's a lot of people out there that are, let's hope Paul George fails his physical, because he had a 25-game suspension this year for violating the anti-drug policy in the NBA, and it was steroids. He took steroids this year. But we'll see. Brown averaged 28 and 7 last year, 0.7. But yeah, highway robbery is the best way I would describe that. The Sixers made out great. And the craziest thing is, Jaylen Brown was literally at a one-on-one event hosted by Tracy McGrady last night in Florida, he signed a kid's jersey after the fact of a Celtics jersey. But yeah, I also, again, before I get more into more NBA stuff and some World Cup stuff, the narrative right now is everyone's bashing Jaylen Brown, and a lot of the sources and a lot of the anonymous scouts have come out and they have to put anonymous because they'll never tarnish their name or tarnish their team, but it's I don't like it. I really don't like it. They're just saying he's very ignorant, he thinks he's smarter than everyone. The guy taught at Harvard. He works for NASA. He got in at Berkeley. He's a genius. That guy's one of the smartest people in the NBA ever. Truly, he's a genius. I saw this thing earlier about Jaylen, all these different things he's done, and I just don't. He thinks he's smarter than everyone. He probably is. Jaylen Brown is probably the smartest player in every room he's ever been in. I don't know. He's smart. He's very book smart, very outspoken about what he feels like. A leader in, I want to say, the community in Boston. I really just don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand the narratives. He's a genius. There's a scout saying he's a disease and he thinks he's so much money. He makes so much money. He thinks he's so much smarter than everybody. He is. He really is. But whatever. It makes no sense. I think a lot of it is just tarnishing his name because of how outspoken he is. And I do agree with a lot of things he says. I really do. There's certain people in life where I feel like if you're that smart and you know these things, you can't tarnish their name. You can, but not to this point. Not to this point. He makes a lot of money. He thinks he can say whatever he wants to a lot of people. He's probably one of the smartest people in that room. Whatever room he walks in, he's probably the smartest person in. But whatever. I don't get it. But we're gonna move on to some other news today. But the Lakers signed a bunch of players yesterday, or Wednesday. They signed Sandro from the Raptors. Good pickup. Had 11 points this year. Averaged 11 this year. 11 and 7, and I think 5 points, 5 assists. And good pickup. I don't know how I feel about it. The fit there. I feel like a lot of people are, they're going to build around Luka in LA. We saw how they built around LeBron. I mean, he's basically up there with ability-wise. He's not as athletic as LeBron, but he's that caliber of player. And I don't ever believe in the Lakers. They're never going to get this right. They're never going to be able to build the right team around certain players. It doesn't make sense to me. But we'll see. They also signed Walker Kessler to a 4-year, $130 million deal. And I like that because I think Walker Kessler can compete at the highest level and is a good shot blocker. They needed some rim protection this year. But I don't get it. That much money for Walker Kessler, though. I said in one of my first episodes that on a contender he can be a good player, but I don't know if he can be that good to where you have to warranting paying him that much money. But we'll see. We'll really see. They signed Quentin Grimes as well. And Quentin Grimes, good shooter, but that's all he has in this game. Fell off a couple years ago, the past few years, honestly. And then there's a famous clip that George Niang's like, hey, when Joel Embiid, when he was on the 76ers, when Embiid's back out here, you're sitting in the corner and taking 2 shots a game. Yeah, and that's true. We'll see. It doesn't make sense to me, but the Lakers, they're building something out there in LA, and LeBron's gone. We'll see. It's Luka's team now. It's Austin Reeves' team, I guess you can say too. But we're gonna see. Yeah, doesn't make sense to me. Tobias Harris goes to the Spurs. I like that. I feel like that's a very sneaky move. I like that one a lot. I think he adds more of a veteran presence in that locker room. He's played everywhere, won a lot of games, but yeah, I like that move a lot. I think that could be a very, very sneaky move for the Spurs. And there were some rumors that they were in on LeBron, but when they signed Tobias Harris, that pretty much scratched them out of that. So we'll see. We have Mitchell Robinson signing with the Celtics off of leaving the Knicks. I like that move a lot. I think the Knicks couldn't pay him. Their owner, James Dolan, was like, I'm not going to the second apron. I'm not doing this. All this. You're an idiot, dude. I don't understand why you wouldn't pay him. He was a very influential part of your team this year in winning that championship. Great shot blocker. A little bit more of a one-way. Can't do as much on the offensive end. Can't shoot free throws. The worst free throw shooter in playoff history. Worse than Shaq, and that's saying something. So yeah, we're going to see. I don't really know where we go from here for the Knicks. I don't know who they can get for a backup big now who would elevate them, I guess, the way Mitchell Robinson on the floor. So, yeah, we're going to see. I don't really know. Yeah, we're going to see. The Knicks, I don't think you do that. I think you have to pay Mitchell Robinson. I feel like you have to pay him. But yeah, it is what it is. I don't know. They really eye-opening to me, kind of crazy, but yeah, that's probably a wrap on the NBA stuff for today. I'm appalled by the fact that Jaylen Brown went for Paul George and some picks, and you didn't even get. What kills me the most is you didn't even get the right picks. I guess you didn't even get the ones you wanted to. Like you wanted the Clippers pick. If you're gonna get any pick out of this, it is the 76ers pick that they own from the Clippers that's unprotected in 2028, which is going to be a good draft class. A very good draft class. Not as deep as this year's. Obviously, people compare the past few draft classes who have been amazing, and I feel like you can't do that with that one. Next few, because they're not as deep, but the talent up top is pretty good. And, yeah, I don't know. The Celtics, unless they're moving on Paul George for a Herb Jones, Trey Murphy trade, doesn't make sense to me. But we're going to see. I think Trey Murphy, if he came into the Celtics, would elevate them a little better than Paul George. So, yeah, we're going to see. I don't know from there. But that's enough of the wrap for the NBA stuff. So we're going to talk some World Cup now. And Harry Kane, the greatest striker in the world right now. Not enough can be said. Saved England again. Saved Thomas Tuchel again. Just the way that England lines up every game, a bit confusing to me. Because you're not even playing the best players, in my opinion. I don't think Noni Madueke should be starting for England. He doesn't do much. He's not. I don't even. Truthfully, he had a good year at Arsenal. Yeah, whatever. He's not he doesn't elevate them. He's not a ceiling raiser. He's not. You put him on the pitch and you know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen. He's that inconsistent. He's not good enough on the ball, in my opinion. Yeah, he's decent, but for the level of quality that England has, and I said this before the tournament even started in one of my first episodes, that the ones they left at home, the Fodens, the Palmers, all of those type of players raise the ceiling when they have the opportunity. Maybe not Foden, because Foden is very, very bad for the national team and had a very boring, basic year for his standards, but Noni and Saka aren't doing that. Bukayo Saka is not raising the ceiling. He's not. I don't know. I'm over the whole Bukayo Saka is a world-class player talk. I'm kind of. It's impressive almost how Arsenal fans and Arsenal's fan base managed to sneak him into them conversations, because what has he proven? The Champions League final, he did nothing in those 60 minutes he's on the pitch. As a matter of fact, Noni, for how bad he was, did more on that pitch for them. So England is disappointing every time. It's expected, honestly. It's expected. This is just what they do every major tournament. They have the most quality out of everybody on the pitch, but they're awful when it matters the most. You saw that a couple years with Southgate. They were supposed to win the Euros. They were supposed to be contending for the 2022 World Cup, and it's disappointing, man. It really is, because as a big football fan, it doesn't make sense. You think England, they have quality everywhere. You think the Premier League, it's the greatest league in the world, about all this other things. They spend the most money. They do all these different things. Then you get to the major tournaments and you get carried by Harry Kane every time. And a lot of the narratives before, mid-game, were, where's Harry Kane now? Where's Harry Kane? Scores a brace. And they need him the most. And the second goal on top of that was not like a regular, here's a tap in right here for it. It's right in front of goal, tap it in. No, he's insane. And this is the same thing I said when I first started this. I said there's differences between Haaland, Mbappe, and Kane. And the biggest difference is Harry Kane does everything on that pitch. Literally everything. He's 32, for crying out loud. He's the oldest one of the best strikers in the world. He's one of the oldest ones, and he's the best one on the pitch every single time. And Tuchel's lucky. He's had him at Bayern. He's lucky he had him in England, because he's not appreciative. He needs to be more appreciated in the English media and the way they talk about Harry Kane. He's your best player ever, in my opinion. He's the guy. That's the guy. You look for Harry Kane. I understand, football's a lot harder than, give it to the best player and let him do whatever he wants. But there's a lot more tactics involved. I understand that. I'm watching it week in and week out for the past few years. I understand that. But appreciate him while he's here, people. I just don't understand. And he has to win the Ballon d'Or. I said this a couple weeks ago. He has to win the Ballon d'Or. It's Harry Kane's to lose. I don't care. Dembele won the Champions League back-to-back and 24 goals, 13 assists. He didn't even play more than 9 league games. He didn't. He does it. Yeah, Dembele is hooping right now, playing great for France. But Harry Kane he broke Ronaldo's best every year goal record with 72 goals. He's on 80 goals and assists this year. And if you're counting the Club World Cup, which some people aren't, I understand. I get it. It was a kind of a whatever, have fun in the summer. I understand. I liked it a lot, honestly. I think they did a great job with that. But he's the best player in the world right now. It's not even close. It's him, Olise, and there's everyone else lower. And the appreciativeness of the English media about Harry Kane is just insane to me. It really is. And I understand he's more of a family man he doesn't really care for all that stuff, but he doesn't hire the PR agencies that everyone else does, of the promoting him every 5 seconds, but whatever. It's Harry Kane. Appreciate him while he's here, because he's not going to be here forever. And if we're being honest, post Harry Kane, what is England up top? Who do they have? Ollie Watkins? Come on. Who's the next best striker? They don't have one. They have number 10 spot filled with a great midfield. Their midfield's insane. The midfield, and what disappointed me the most was in that game versus DR Congo the other day, this 310 million value of pounds of of their midfield, of Anderson, of Rice, played horribly in that game. Horribly. And this is the same thing I've preached since I started watching football. The English media overhypes the wrong players. Saka, good player, not world class. Declan Rice is absolutely world class, and I was not a big Declan Rice fan up until this year, if I'm being honest. I didn't understand what he did in the pitch that everyone else was seeing, but I'm seeing it now. Didn't have a good game yesterday. They moved him right back, and the game changed. It completely changed. Elliot Anderson's going to be a star at Manchester City, and their move was finally agreed. I don't know how much it's for. I believe it's over £130 million. But we'll see. Just disappointing, man. Just disappointing for such a good and talented team. England every time. I'm like, I want to pick England so bad to win it all this year. No, I can't, because disappointment after disappointment. And their wingers, too. The quality of players has fallen off for England, I guess. If Anthony Gordon played good when he came on, and he, had 2 assists, but he doesn't move the needle. You watch these teams, and you're like, the Brazil of the past, of the flair, the technicality, of the quality they had. Every player was world class back then. These teams don't have it besides France right now. And even France lacks in the midfield. Even they have Adrien Rabiot. And again, experienced, good player. And for the system that France runs right now, he's perfect. But they have a very, very big hole in the midfield. And that's the same reason they lost the World Cup a couple years ago to Argentina. So England disappoints me, man, every time. I'll never, ever root for them as much as I should, I guess. I'm a big fan of quality on the pitch and good teams. But England disappointed me. They shouldn't have been that close. And I understand it's the World Cup. These games are going to be a lot closer than people expect. But with all these different countries giving it their all. And props to DR Congo. They played a great game. But the best players win. The big players come up and the big players show out. That's what we all preach, And Harry Kane does that. The Ballon d'Or is his to take, and it's not going to be... It'll be a robbery if it's not him. Forget the World Cup. He doesn't have to win the World Cup for this. If you're basing this award off of... And I know it hasn't been for the past few years, of who's the best player in the world. It's Harry Kane, and it's not really close. It's not close. Not in the slightest. He has to be there. But yeah, enough of the England. I'm just disappointed, man. I really am. And I'm not a big fan of Thomas Tuchel. He's supposed to be his knockout manager, his tournament manager. Showed it at Bayern. Won the Champions League with Chelsea. Disappointing. He's had so many good teams. So many good teams. And he just can't do it. We'll see, though. We'll see if they can. We'll see. They have a tough one next week coming up with. They are playing Mexico in Mexico at the Azteca Stadium. That is going to be an amazing atmosphere. I cannot be more excited. It wouldn't surprise me if Mexico won and beat England, but that's going to be crazy. I'm excited for it. I genuinely am excited for it. But we're going to see. England disappointing, man. They need to be better. The English media is a little too harsh on their best players and a little more lightning to the other ones. It's kind of crazy to me, but we'll see. The whole Jude thing, Jude Bellingham. He is your second best player. It's him, Kane, and it's not close. It's not very close for who's second, or third, fourth, and fifth. It's not, because Jude shows out every time. And I'm so sick of the whole, he doesn't have position, He's played multiple different positions in this tournament and over his course of his career. And he's so good on ball. There's not another player that I enjoy for his size, for his stature, for his physicality level in the midfield. It's amazing to watch what he does with the ball and the way he locates and finds different spaces and creates all these different angles. I don't know. It's impressive to me, and I think they slander Jude so much in the English media and the media in general for he mastered the art of looking not busy, on the pitch. Whatever, man, whatever. He's him. I like Jude a lot. I've liked him when he was at Dortmund. That says something, because I can't stand Dortmund at all. But yeah, France moves on, beat Sweden 3-1 the other day. I was live for the other one that game the other day. Not live, but I was recording while the game was going on. And Olise is just the best player on that pitch. Mbappe is going to get the credit, as most of the credit, but it should be Olise. And the whole, he's coming to Real Madrid. He's not coming to Real Madrid. Bid as much as you want, Florentino. You hear me? He's not ever coming to your team. He's Bayern through and through. And the whole, he looks so good with Mbappe. He looked great all year with Harry Kane at Bayern. Just disgusting work, man. I hate the way the media in Real Madrid. I can't stand them. Really, this football media in general. It makes no sense to me. They're so reactive, and I understand you're only as good as your last game, but the way English media is disgusting. Every media and for every aspect is disgusting nowadays. It's not what it used to be. It's truly not. Like, you're only as good as your last game, and I get that part of it, but the way they react and overreact to certain things, it's just kind of crazy to me. But yeah. Next one we're going to cover for the World Cup is going to be the United States of America. I'm so proud of this team. Genuinely so proud of this team. I don't think I've ever watched a team that plays this well for the U.S. And we look good. We look good. I don't want to go too far out on a limb here and say how far we'll get. I'm a little nervous for the Belgium game. Balogun's going to be out, and he's probably been our best player in this World Cup right now. But this team has so much quality, and I think this goes to show, and it's going to continue to show to Americans all around of North America. Football is here. Yeah, American football, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Nobody, whatever, when it's not football season, who's really talking about it? Like, you have your few moments, with a free agency, blah, 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 the NBA, NFL draft, and I'm a huge football fan, huge American football fan. You need to branch out and watch soccer more often. I'm not joking. Watch the Premier League if you have to. Watch the Italian League. Watch the La Liga. Watch Spain. Watch Germany. Watch Bundesliga. Watch all these League One if you want. I wouldn't, because it's fun to watch, honestly, but it's not like the highest quality of talent. And you know who's gonna win the league, whatever. But you need to watch this. It's this big, and there's a reason that soccer is this big everywhere else except America. And I understand it's more of a rich man's sport nowadays. It's who can pay who to get these kids and all these people in different positions. But watch it, man. I'm grateful that it's here, and I'm excited that it's here. It's awesome seeing these times, like watching these games at I don't have to stay up till 6 in the morning to watch this game. At 8 o'clock we're playing in LA. And the Belgium versus United States game is going to be insane. The atmospheres have been amazing. I'm so proud of how the American people have came together, and I love seeing our country united under one thing. Like, as much as everyone shits on us, mind my language, I apologize. I try to keep this, But as much as everyone talks about, we don't take soccer seriously, we don't take all these different things seriously, and how divided we are as a country, I love to see us united under one thing. Same thing with hockey a couple months ago when we beat Canada in that gold medal game. I love to see all of us. I love it. It's one of my most prideful things of being an American is seeing how excited we all are for a soccer game. And people don't even watch soccer. All these different people don't even watch it. And they're talking about it. I love to see it, man. I love seeing our country so united under one thing. It's amazing to see. And I hope the boys can keep playing well. I really do. And Pochettino has done a great job. I can't believe how good they look on that pitch. And yes, you got a European experienced manager now. And I don't think it's crazy to say if we go crazy and win this whole thing, they're naming a state after him. And I don't think that's ridiculous. I really don't think that's ridiculous. This is insane how good they're playing. I didn't believe at first. I didn't, and a lot of people were like, it's hard to not believe. But a couple years ago, you guys weren't watching those teams and they were awful. When Pulisic was the best player on the pitch and they were getting carried, and he was carrying all of them. We look good, man. And Bosnia was not a pushover. We broke the 0-0 early on. And we played great. And then we went down to 10 men. You lose a player, lose Florian Balogun for a red card, which a lot of people are, again, who are not educated about the sport of football. You can't step on someone's back heel. And I can put my American bias aside. You cannot step on his back heel. That's a red card every day of the week. I've seen worse red cards, ones that shouldn't have been red cards. That is one of them that should have been a red card. It's unfortunate. I don't know if we get through Belgium, but I'm optimistic that we will. I couldn't be more excited. I just love seeing the country united under one thing. I really do. And I think that's what makes us so great as a country sometimes, when everything, we all can be arguing about all these different things, politics, all belief system, all these different things. And we all just come together and, hey, we all don't like Bosnia this week, This next week, we're not all not going to like Belgium. We're not eating no waffles, Belgium waffles this week. We're not eating none of those, And Belgium's a team who is aged a little bit. They had their golden generation a couple years ago, and they did nothing with it. So I think I'm very optimistic about us getting through, even without Florian Balogun. And it's huge for us. That was our second ever knockout win in a major tournament, and that's awesome, man. We're gonna keep getting better. This team's young. They're gonna keep improving as long as we keep sending our talents to Europe. Like that team, most of that team plays in Europe. Like all of our good players play in Europe. Malik Tillman, he's from Germany originally. Chose us. His father's a military guy. Chose us to come here. He's, American citizen, obviously, through and through. But it's huge when these players want to come play for the United States of America. And I'm so excited for it. Like, genuinely. Tillman with that crazy little turn on the ball yesterday, a little curve. It was amazing to see. I couldn't be more excited for the state of American soccer. And I think it's going to only keep growing due to this tournament. And it's been needed. I'm so excited for this. Like, truly so excited for it to keep growing. Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect us to get this far, I'll be honest. But our group was a little rougher on the edges, We beat Paraguay, who Germany couldn't even beat. So, hey, how good are we really? I don't know. We're going to see. As the tournament keeps progressing, we're going to see. I'm excited for it, though, guys. This team is good, and they're going to keep getting better. And Pochettino's done a great job. Genuinely a great job. But, yeah, we're going to see Spain play today versus Austria. 3-0 win 3-0 for Spain. And again, I don't think Spain's as good as they are on paper, for what people say. But Lamine Yamal looked decent. He didn't look great, and he's their best player by far. He's one of the best players in the world, and for his age, that's insane. He's not enough words I can describe Lamine Yamal. It's just insane talent-wise. The touch of Messi, clearly, he did something. That kid's insane, like genuinely insane. I'm excited for him. But he didn't play that well today, 5 out of 13. But the backing of him to get player of the match today was kind of crazy to me. He didn't look like the best player on the match. So I say. But yeah, I mean, I can't wait. I love this World Cup. I think it's been great. I think it's amazing that everyone's watching and tuning in. And finally, I'm getting some of my family members to watch these games. It's awesome, like genuinely awesome. I'm so glad people are tuning in. But we're gonna see it. It just keeps progressing. I still think it's France coming home with this. The quality they have on the attack and everywhere on the pitch, just insane. Upamecano was a great defender, and even some French people were. Not butcher that. The French were saying that he might be their best defender of all time. I don't think that's ridiculous. His ball skills as a defender, he's insane, genuinely insane. Great player. I'm so excited for this team. I'm excited for France. I really do hope they can pull through and win it for us. Not for us, but if you guys knew what I was referring to, you'd understand. But that's a story for another day. We'll come back to that after France wins the World Cup, and I'll explain why I'm saying that. Some people know, some people don't. But yeah, that's a wrap for this episode. Lots of good news. There's gonna be more episodes coming out. I'm gonna have a lot more to talk about. I'm trying to keep going every day with the news. We're gonna see. I'm gonna try to get more episodes throughout the week. I only did 2 this week. There's gonna be another one this weekend, I think, with all these games going on. So yeah, I can't wait, man. The sport. Everyone's like, oh, July is a dead period when there's the World Cup on. There's so many different things going on with the NBA free agency, and it's only gonna keep getting better. I can't wait. There might be. I might dedicate a whole episode to LeBron, where he's going. Because I'm not a LeBron fan. I'm a wherever he's at fan. You know what I'm saying? So. Or I'm not a Lakers fan. Wherever LeBron's at. As a Kings fan, though, I'm loyal to them. He's not coming to Sacramento. I've accepted that. Is what it is. But I hope everyone has a great day, and thanks for tuning in.